Hi friends, uh, from last three classes we were discussing about the fundamentals of partnership accounts that I think we have completed so far, and today's class we'll be discussing about, before I go into the reconstitution of partnership firm, that is admission, retirement and death. In these three cases, I think the important topic which we need to discuss before we go into the treatment of the important topic called as goodwill, that today's class we are discussing. So if you look at the goodwill chapter, if you look at the goodwill, we are having two things in goodwill. First point, we'll be discussing the meaning of goodwill, learning objective, this is point number one. Point number two, need for valuation of goodwill, then methods of valuation of goodwill. Methods of valuation of goodwill. Methods of valuation of goodwill. And fourth point is treatment of goodwill. I think these are 4 points you all should understand. Meaning of goodwill, need for valuation of goodwill, methods of valuation of goodwill, treatment of goodwill. These are the learning objectives of today's class. I think you all have learned the meaning of goodwill. Those who are coming from commerce background or in final accounts, I think final accounts we haven't had discussion on that. Maybe in the beginning, the general entries they might have explained you, might have explained you about what is goodwill. Goodwill is an intangible asset. You all are aware. If you look at the meaning of goodwill, goodwill is nothing but name, fame, reputation of an organization. What is goodwill, my dear friends? It is a name, fame, reputation of an organization is called as goodwill. In simple words, it is extra earning capacity of an organization. What is extra earning capacity? Suppose X firm is doing the same business, Y firm is also doing the same business. X has invested 1 lakh, Y also has invested 1 lakh rupees. X mode of operation, Y mode of operation is same. The locality is same. Everything is same. But X is able to get more income than Y. The reason is that he is having more reputation than Y. Reputation you cannot get overnight. It is mostly, you should understand, it is not because of something like advertisement or publicity. These all are temporary. See, you can see that those people who give advertisement continuously, repeatedly, okay, you are tempting them to come to your shop, your organization, for knowing about the product, or maybe if advertisement or publicity is influencing you to buy it, first time you may buy, second time you may buy. If there is no quality in that, even if you look at the advertisement, you are not convinced with that, because the quality is the key for everybody. Anything, be it product, be it is production related things, be it servicing, service oriented activities, anything. See, at the end of the day, you should feel that you are getting some quality. What is quality? It is a value. We say paisa vasool. When you go to a movie to watch a movie, we say paisa vasool. I'm very convinced the movie is very good. That means you feel that whatever the amount a single NPO are paying, and if you get back the happiness, the joy, or something for which you have spent the money, yeah, then you can say yes, this is a really good thing. I think the mouth publicity is the most important thing rather than giving publicity. I think publicity, as I told you, may be attracting the people to come once or twice. Ultimately, you need to prove the quality. So that is what he said. Its quality is the one aspect. And also, most importantly, nowadays we are saying servicing is also important thing. Why servicing? Servicing in the sense after sale, the service is important. Servicing is a service. I mean, service is important. Whenever you got any problem, I think they should be able to address you. They should be able to, then you will be having, okay, this organization is really good. Like you can see nowadays, when after getting any delivery of any item, now people are asking them to give the rating, how you are feeling, how are you really happy with your service, and etc. The reason is they want to have a long-term relationship with the customer. I think there are so many factors. I think that is why it has been given in one book. Goodwill is very easy to describe, but very difficult to define. Goodwill is very easy to describe, but very difficult to define. Okay, so simple words I told you. It's because of efficiency of the management, or it can be because of skills and qualities of the people who are at the helm of affairs, or it can be because of the location. Sometimes a favorable location will definitely is an advantage. And the other thing is also for reputation is monopoly. If no competitor, I think people are bound to go there and buy. You don't have any alternative. You take railways, you don't have any alternative. Whether you like it or you don't like it, you have to travel by that. At least as far as the road transportation is concerned, you are having a few alternatives. So air traveling, at least we are having few alternatives. For train, I think the government is now, I think they are trying on that. I think from some routes on experimental basis, they want to run some private trains. I think this is what, I think this general overall I'm giving, this meaning of goodwill, it is an intangible. The reputation will be fetching you to earn more income. That is what is goodwill. Okay, so simple words, it is extra earning capacity of a firm. So then why we should go for need for valuation of goodwill? I think for these things you don't need any notes, my dear friends. I think just you can listen to it. I'll be giving a notes or anything when I feel is appropriate. Now, need for valuation of goodwill. For this, let me give you a few things. When you need to go for valuation of goodwill, or if you want to write one line, goodwill is name, fame, or reputation of an organization. In simple, it is an extra earning of an organization, or say firm. Okay. Then if you look at goodwill, as I told you, goodwill is very easy to describe but very difficult to define. Next, need for valuation. Need for valuation. What is need for valuation? I told you, when there is a change in the profit sharing ratio of existing partners. When there is a change in the profit sharing ratio of existing partners. Say for example, A, B, C, they were partners. A was getting 50 rupees, B was getting 30 rupees, C was getting 20 rupees. Say for example, A was getting 50, B was getting 30, C was getting 20 rupees. This is old ratio. Now new profit sharing ratio, let me tell you, A has got 40, B has got 40, C is getting 20. Now look at it. So what happened here? A is sacrificing 10 rupees. Why sacrifice? A was getting old 50, now is getting 40. What is sacrificed by A? In future he is going to sacrifice 10. That means he is going to get 10. What about A, B? B was getting 30 earlier, now is getting 40. What is the gain? Is getting 10. So C, no gain or no sacrifice. Now what happened? In future profits, who is sacrificing? A is sacrificing. So when A is sacrificing, who is gaining? B. That means the person who is gaining must compensate the person who is sacrificing. The person who is gaining must sacrifice. The person who is sacrificing must the person who is gaining must compensate the person who is sacrificing. What is the person who is gaining? Who is the person who is gaining? B is gaining. In B, in future, since he is getting more, he must satisfy whom? A. So for that purpose, we need to value of goodwill. That is, what is the reputation, today's reputation? So how much he must compensate? I have taken example of like 100 rupees to explain the ratio with amounts I have given. Or you say 5:3:2, 4:4:1. Say 100 rupees is the goodwill. Let me take 100 rupees the goodwill. A was getting 50, 30, 20, now new ratio, A is going to get 40, 40, 20. That means who is sacrificing? A is sacrificing. A is sacrificing 10 rupees and B is gaining how much? 10 rupees. When there is a change in profit sharing ratio of existing partners, the compensation has to be given by the person who is sacrificing. The person who is gaining must compensate the person who is sacrificing. I think we don't have any problems on this. So this is for only to have a theory. Theoretically, you should understand. When a new partner is admitted, what will happen? When new partner is admitted, the old partners are going to forego. Some amount towards new partner. Sir, how, sir? Let me tell you, whenever a partner is admitted, we need to have a goodwill on the date of admission. Let us say goodwill is 100. Goodwill is 100 rupees. Old ratio, let us say 5:3:2. Or say 3:2. Okay. Now let me take new ratio as 2:2:1. Who has joined? Let us say this is the share of C, a new partner. C is the new partner. Now if you look into it, why we should go for the problem, I think I started with last page, sorry. Okay, let me continue here. The same thing. Let me put it this one as page number 1, my dear friends. This is page number 1, okay. Let me go to page number 2. Okay. Now, as I told you, three is to two, new ratio 2:1. Now, let us say, what is 100 rupees, sir? It is extra earning capacity of the goodwill is called as goodwill. In simple words, that goodwill, how to calculate, I'll tell you later on. You should understand two things, my dear friend, before I explain that. Whenever a new partner has been admitted, existing profit sharing ratio will change. When existing profit sharing ratio will change, some partners may forego and the new partner may gain, or one of the old partner also may gain, or one of the old partner may sacrifice, or both the old partners may sacrifice, one of the partner may gain. Simple example, two friends went to a shop to buy, to have a breakfast or to have a snacks. So they are having 100 rupees. So the 100 rupees they are sharing 50-50. Now a friend came, they are having 100 rupees. Naturally, when a third person comes, they will be sacrificing something. So he came, he joined. So they have given 1/3 share. Now tell me, A was getting earlier 50, B was getting earlier 50. Now when C, his friend came, joined him, share has become 33.33 to A, B 33.33, C is also getting 33.33. From C, where he is getting? C, from where he is getting? C is getting from A, what A has sacrificed? 16.67. What is the B has sacrificed? 16.67. Sacrificed by A, sacrificed by B is a gaining of whom? C, no? A simple logic. Whenever, I think you can see this, whenever new partner has joined, 1/2 A, 1/2 B. Now you have to go for three parts. Then what happened? 50, he was getting early. Now this is the share of A, B, C. If you look at it, A 50 minus 16.67 become 33.33. A's new ratio. B also same. C 16.67 sacrificed by A, 16.67 sacrificed by B has become 33.33. That means B 33.33, C 33.33. That means who is sacrificing? A and B sacrificing. Can you really call them as sacrificing? No. This is to explain you. When C's friend has come, says, just jokingly I am telling you, then after you also came, you joined with me, you give me 33.33. Why should we sacrifice? See, I was having 50, my friend A is having 50, and B is having 50, and C has come. Then naturally they say, since we are giving, this is 100 rupees you are having, you do one thing, let us share it. And you compensate us. Now can you say, if suppose if you are bearing without asking your friend to make a payment, to have a contribution, then really you can say, yeah, friend, for friend's sake, I've given 16.67 share, and B said that I've given 16.67% share to C. Now, okay, let me put it. Why should I sacrifice? A feels that why should I sacrifice to C? B feels why should I sacrifice? Since he has come, let us have. I got 100 rupees. Let us share it. Now, for the time being, I'm giving you. I'm giving a share. Tomorrow you compensate. Tomorrow C has to compensate how much? 33.33. Out of 33.33, he has to give it back to 16.67 to A, because A's share is 33.337. But A has sacrificed how much? 16.67. So okay, you take 16.67 rupees and he will be giving 16.67 you take. To whom C is asking B to take. That means A has consumed over 33.33%. But how much he has spent? 50. He is getting back 16.67 from whom? C. Similarly, B has consumed 33.33% benefit. But how much he has spent? 50 NP. 50 rupees or 50 NP, whatever it may be. C is compensatory 16.67. That means now how much A has contributed? 33.33. How much B has contributed? 33.33. How much C has contributed to 33.33 is equal to 100. This is the logic I am telling you. This is the logic I am telling you. Similarly, what happened when you look into the business part of it, the reputation, C without putting an effort simply is joining. He wants to enjoy the share. What is share? A and B is having some reputation, because of that they are getting good profits. They are getting good profits, reasonable profits. And now suddenly C comes. Okay, when new partner comes, he has to bring capital. Capital for what? Share in the business. Please try to understand. When new partner brings his capital, share in the business. When new partner brings in goodwill, to have a share in future profit. Share in future profit means share in future extra profit, not normal profit. If I am an owner, I am eligible to entitled to get normal profit. But what is the share I am asking? Extra earning capacity. That extra earning capacity. If I join your firm, okay, 10% I am happy, but I am getting 12%. Suppose a new partner joined the firm. If I join any other firm or invest, I can get 10%, but I am getting 12%. What is the extra amount I am getting? 2%. The 2% is reputation. The 2% reputation, who are foregoing? Old partners are foregoing. When old partners are foregoing, they expect the new partner to compensate. So that means that is what is called as goodwill. That goodwill has to be brought in by the new partner. For that purpose, we need to value what is the goodwill, what is the reputation. So that for that purpose, you need to go for valuation of goodwill. Now in this example, I tell you, A, B is an old partner, C is a new partner. So what is the share? I told you old partners were sharing. Is an old partner, he is a old partner. 100 rupees I told you. 100 rupees how they are sharing? Here I have given the example how they are sharing. 3:2. 3:2 means A was getting, suppose 100 rupees the profit 60, B was getting 40. Am I right? 100 by 5, 20 into 360, 20 into 240. This is old ratio. Old. Now when you look at new, 2:2:1. 100 by 5, 20. 20 into 240. 20 into 40, 20. Now tell me, who is sacrificing? A is sacrificing. Who is not sacrificing? B is neither sacrificing nor gaining. So B. And who is gaining? New partner is gaining. So here sacrifice by old partner, gain by new partner. So due to this, I think we need to value goodwill. What is the firm goodwill? Who is sacrificing? The gaining partner shall compensate whom? Sacrificing partner. That means then one of the old partner in this case who is sacrificing, he is not sacrificing at free of cost. He is not sacrificing it free of cost. He is giving the future profits to whom? C. So for that purpose, now he is asking the new partner to bring his share of goodwill. So that is the reason why we shall calculate goodwill. So similarly, when a partner has retired, or died, goodwill is to be valued. Why? Because outgoing partner is sacrificing, outgoing means he can be retired partner or died partner. And who is gaining? Remaining partners are gaining. So that is why we shall value the goodwill. And fourth one, I think you don't have this now in group 1, CF Foundation, you are having group 2. When when firm has been sold or floated a company. When a firm has sold or floated a company, you have to go for valuation of goodwill. Is this clear? So we have discussed so far few things. When you need to value goodwill, remember, when existing profit sharing ratio among the partners are changing. 2. When a new partner has been admitted. 3. When a partner has retired or died. 4. When partnership firm has been dissolved and they have sold the firm to another firm or they have floated a company. In these 4 cases, we need to go for valuation of goodwill. Is this clear to all of you? Now, let me take you to the next part. Third page. This is third page. Third page. We have seen 2 points. Point number 1, meaning of goodwill you have seen. Point number 2, need for valuation of goodwill. Is this clear to all of you? Need for valuation of goodwill is nothing but why should we value goodwill? Simple words, when profit sharing ratio changes. That's it. When profit sharing ratio changes, I think the examples I have given, leave it out. Simple, how to remember. When there is a change in profit sharing ratio, goodwill is to be valued. Why? When profit sharing ratio changes, future profits, somebody is going to sacrifice, somebody is going to gain. This is simple thing about goodwill. Gaining partner should compensate sacrificing partner, my dear friends. That's it. That is goodwill. Remember, somebody is going to ask you goodwill. You should say name, fame, or reputation. It is extra earning capacity of firm. This extra earning capacity is about present or future? Future. So in future, if there is change in profit sharing ratio, not today, tomorrow, future, there is change in profit sharing ratio, you need to value goodwill. Why? That what is goodwill? It is extra earning capacity, means extra profits is goodwill. That extra profits who is sacrificing? The person who is sacrificing. When? How? He will be growing. When there is change in profit sharing ratio. When there is a change in profit sharing ratio. When existing agreement among the partners are changing. Again, first example. Similarly, when somebody joining you the firm, profit sharing ratio will change. When somebody is leaving the firm, profit sharing ratio will change. Or when firm has been dissolved, sold to another firm or floated a company, I am sacrificing my entire business, my reputation. Then who is gaining? The firm which is purchasing my firm is gaining. The company which is taking over my firm is gaining. Got it? I think this is the logic behind calculation of goodwill. So for finding out who is gaining, how much is gaining, we need to have the firm's goodwill. What is your reputation? How much you are gaining? How much you are sacrificing? To know that, we shall go for valuation of goodwill. So today we are learning methods of valuation of goodwill. Methods of valuation of goodwill. If you look at the first method, average profit method. Second method, super profit method. Third method, annuity method. Fourth method, capitalization of goodwill. Capitalization method. So how many methods are there? Average profit method, super profit method, annuity method, capitalization method. Let me briefly explain what is average profit method. This average profit method, goodwill is equal to goodwill is equal to average profit into certain number of years of purchase. Now, what do you mean by this? Average profit. See, if I say this is my reputation, how can you prove my reputation? Simple example I'll tell you. You might have seen IPL auction in cricket. They look at their performance, like average strike rate, something like when they pick the player, they'll be looking at the strike rate, average strike rate. In the bidding, they go for bidding on the person who is having a good average strike rate. It's not about 1 year performance. Last 2-3 years they say that, like you take example of a Dhoni or a Virat Kohli or some few extraordinary players around the world, they will be picked by the IPL franchise basing upon the performance, because that reputation that Dhoni is playing or Virat Kohli is playing or Rohit Sharma is playing in a particular team, the reputation will increase because of their presence there. It's simple. How it is because of their performance. Similarly, a reputation of organization, how we need to measure here? On the basis of average profit. And average profit, what you are getting? That average profit, if I say current year profit, okay, you take my profit, last year profit. That last year profit may be fluke. But if you look at 3 or 4 years average, that is genuine, no? Average is no gain, no loss to anybody. So if you look at the average, and when you look at the average, then what happens? That average is not related to current year. That average is not related to current year. Then what happened? That average is basing on 3 or 4 years, and the same average profit we are expecting for coming 2 or 3 years is called as goodwill. The same average you are expecting for, same average profit you are expecting for the coming 2 or 3 years is called as goodwill. That means we are saying, see, I'm telling to new partner who is about to join. See, if you take an example of admission of a partner, see, this is my average performance. I'm expecting my reputation to continue for coming 2 to 3 years. So this is my reputation. This reputation I am foregoing because you are joining my firm. If I say my average profit is 50,000, 50,000 3, 1,50,000. This 1,50,000 I am going to get in future 3 years. This future 1,50,000 3 years, your share is 1/3. That is, say 1/3 is coming to 50,000. That 50,000 we are foregoing. Otherwise, if you are not joined, we could have had that 1,50,000 and we could have distributed equally, say 75. That we are foregoing. And A is foregoing 25, B is foregoing 25, and you are getting 1,50,000, provided if all the partners are having same profit sharing ratio. This is the logic. So that is why we ask the new partner to bring your share of goodwill, which is being foregone by A and B. Now we say sacrifice. It's not a free sacrifice. It's a paid sacrifice. Yes, the partners are sacrificing, asking the new partner to bring that amount and give it back to us. because future extra profits we are giving to you. That means if somebody is going to ask you why new partner should bring a share of goodwill, because he is purchasing future extra profits from who? Old partner. That is the logic, right? So this is goodwill. Now here I want to add few things here. This average profit can be simple or weighted average. These average profits can be simple or weighted average. When to calculate simple? When profits are showing fluctuating trend, simple average can be followed. Simple average can be followed. When profits are showing fluctuate when profits are showing either increase in trend. Here let me give you example. 50 first year, second year 40, third year 60, like that. This is called as fluctuating. When profits are showing either increase in trend or decrease in trend. Profits are showing either increase in trend or decrease in trend. Weighted average is to be followed. Example 50, 75, 90. This is first year profit, second year profit, third year. This is example of increasing trend. Suppose 90, 75, 50. Here it is profits are showing increasing trend. Here profits are showing decreasing trend. Then we shall follow which method, my dear friends? We shall follow weighted average method. So first point we have discussed, average profits can be simple or weighted average. Okay. Now here, second point, note number 2. While calculating average profits, abnormal profit or abnormal loss. Abnormal profit, abnormal loss means like a windfall gain is abnormal profit. I'll give you a simple example. Those are staying near your chance, I think those are staying in hostel, used to go to one tiffin center daily morning to have a breakfast. So say X tiffin center. One fine morning you went to X tiffin center that was closed. You are having adjacent to that another tiffin center called as Y tiffin center. So X tiffin center was getting a profit of 10,000 rupees. There it was getting a profit of say 1,000 rupees daily. So because of closing the shop, the customers of A tiffin center has diverted to Y tiffin center, and because of that he got Y tiffin center has got 1,000 rupees profit. That 1,000 rupees profit is an extraordinary profit, no? That 1,000 rupees extraordinary profit will not be considered, should not be considered by Y for calculating average profit, because it is a windfall gain. Because of closure of X tiffin center, Y has got extraordinary profit. Now the same case, if you look at for X, it is abnormal loss, extraordinary loss. The reason is that On that day, because of closing, he has suffered a loss of 1000. So when you are calculating average profit, you have to ignore which one? Abnormal profit, abnormal loss. However, while calculating abnormal profit, average profit, abnormal profit has been already adjusted, that is to be subtracted. Abnormal loss has been adjusted, it is to be added back. So please remember, while calculating average profit, abnormal profits or abnormal losses are to be ignored. Are to be ignored means they are not to be considered. Ignored means they are not to be considered. Then similarly, while calculating average profits, I think these are all of the notes I am giving. We don't have any adjustments on this. Previously we used to have this in CPT bits. But just remember this. Here I want to tell you one thing I want to add before I take this note. In average profits, if they are considered abnormal profit and abnormal loss, then deduct abnormal gain from average profits and add abnormal loss. That means they have deducted abnormal loss. To get the actual profit, abnormal loss is to be added. Because they have added an average abnormal gain, because of that the profit has increased, that is to be subtracted. If you are not added, if you are not subtracted, no need to do any adjustment. If these things have already been taken into consideration, then these things you shall adjust. In average profits, if they have considered abnormal profit, abnormal loss, then deduct abnormal gain from average profits and add abnormal loss. Okay. I think these are the 2 points which you should remember. And third point, while calculating average profit, future expenses which is to be incurred if any expense which is to be incurred in future. While calculating average profit, if any expense which is to be incurred in future are to be subtracted. While calculating average profit, if any expenditure which is to be incurred in future are to be subtracted. Similarly, if any expenditure which were incurred earlier not required in future, not required in future, are to be added back to increase average profit. That means today I was expecting 10,000 rupees. A simple example. I was paying rent. My firm was paying rent. the partner is going to join in the firm is having his premises. So he said, okay, you use my premises. That means 10,000 rent per annum which I am paying. In future, I need not pay. So when I have calculated average profit, I have taken which into consideration? Rent that has been paid during last 3 years I have considered. So the profit is about present or future? Future. So future, when you calculate future, I think the expenditure will decrease, my profit will increase. Similarly, previously, one of the employee, the partner, who was taking active interest, active involvement in the firm, he said that in future I can't take active part because my health is not permitting me to take active part. So therefore, they have appointed manager. So presently you are not incurring expenditure. Future you have to incur expenditure. So because of that, what happened? My profit will come down. I think these are the changes which you are required to be doing while calculating average profit. Is this clear? So I have explained the 3 points to you. Average profit can be simple or weighted average. While calculating average profit, abnormal profits or abnormal losses are to be ignored. Then I told you, while calculating average profit, if any expense which is to be incurred in future are to be subtracted. Similarly, if any expenditure which were incurred earlier not required in future are to be added back. Okay. So then second method which we will be discussing, it is super profit method. Super profit method, when we talk about, the formula for super profit is goodwill is equal to super profit into number of years of purchase. Number of years of purchase. Sir, what is super profit, sir? Super profit is equal to average profit minus normal profit. Super profit is equal to average profit minus normal profit. So average profit, we have already discussed how to calculate simple average, weighted average, same concept from future one, the previous one. Normal profit is equal to capital employed or capital into normal rate. So super profit is equal to average profit minus normal profit. Normal profit is equal to capital into normal rate. Okay. Then third method, we discuss about what is normal profit when we work out the problem. Annuity method. Goodwill is equal to super profit into annuity factor. Fourth one, capitalization method. Goodwill is equal to super profit into 100 by normal rate. I think these three things I will explain when I take up the problem. First, I have given the clarity of average profit. So I think super profit, then annuity method and capitalization method. So what I do, I'll be taking the one problem given in your study material, CHAMS material, page number 98. We are having a problem called as Lee and Larson are in equal partnership. They agreed to take Hicks as 1/4 partner. For this, it was decided to find out the value of goodwill of Messrs. Lee and Larson earned profit during 2008 to 2011 as follows. So I think I am not gone for copying down the problem here. Simply he is asking find out the value of goodwill following various methods. So I am giving the data here. He is asking to calculate the goodwill. So I think what is the data that has been given, I am writing here. Year 2008 and year 2009, and then we got the 2010 and 2011. This is the data that has been given. I am taking one example to explain which one goodwill. Then profits has been given like 1,20,000, 125, 130, 150. Okay. Capital employed 5 lakhs. Capital employed 5 lakhs. Normal rate is 20%. So goodwill is to be valued at 3 years purchase price. I think this was not given in the material. We are assuming 3 years purchase. 3 years purchase goodwill is to value 3 years purchase. I think this 3 years I am giving for me to explain the various methods for valuation. Okay. So what I am doing, first I am starting with which method, my dear friend? Average profit method. Average profit method. Now since the profits are showing increasing trend, we can follow which method? Weighted average. So that is what I am working out here. The first column I am writing year. Second column profit I am writing. Third column weight I am writing. Fourth column I am writing product. Product is nothing but 2 and 3. So year 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011. If you look at the profit, 1,20,000, 1,25,000, 1,30,000, 1,50,000. First year weight I am considering as 1, second year weight 2, third year weight 3, fourth year weight 4. What is weight, sir? We expect first year profit is having one-time weights. The more the year progresses, the weight of the profit will increase, the reputation will increase. That is why generally when the profits are showing increasing trend, we assume first year weight as a 1 by default, second year weight as 2, third year weight as 3, fourth year weight as 4. If profits are showing decreasing trend, we reverse 4, 3, 2, 1. Or whatever the weight that is being given in the problem, we can take. So 1,20,000 into 1,20,000, 2,50,000, 3,90,000, 6 lakhs. Am I right? This is what we got the weights. Am I right? So if you look at the weights here, you can go for now totaling of it. Am I right, my dear friends? If you look at the total of the product, 1,20,000, 2,50,000, 3,90,000 and 6 lakhs, 13,60,000 you are getting here. Here if you look at the weight, you are getting 10. So the goodwill is equal to 3 years has been given, 3 years into total product by total weight. This is the formula. That is 3 into 13,60,000 by 10. You are getting 1,36,000. 1,36,000. Now that is 3 in 3, 13,60,000 by 10 into 13,60,000 by 10 into 3. You are getting 4,08,000 directly. So this is called as firm's goodwill. This is called as, my dear friends, firm goodwill. This is what he is asking. So here I am writing note. Since profits are showing increasing trend, weighted average method is followed. Okay. Then second method, super profit. Super profit means extraordinary profit. Super profit method. Super profit method, we need 4 points. Point number 1, average profit. Already we have calculated here. Average profit we have calculated now here. What is average profit? 13,60,000 by 10. 1,36,000. Then point number 2, normal profit. Normal profit is equal to capital employed into. So same data I am using for average profit, my dear friend. Capital employed into normal rate. What is capital employed? 5 lakhs. What is normal rate that was given? Tell me. 20%. How much you are getting? 1 lakh. Sorry, 1 lakh rupees. Now third point, super profit is equal to super average profit minus normal profit. See, my average is 1,36,000. I am expecting a normal profit of 1 lakh. Is it not super? This is super performance, extraordinary performance. So this is 36,000. Now goodwill is equal to fourth point. How many years? 3 years. 3 into 36,000. It is coming to 1,08,000. That means you can calculate goodwill by following average profit, by following super profit. I think which method you need to follow, you will be mentioning in partnership deed. You will be mentioning in which way? Partnership deed. So try to understand this. So I think different methods you are having different results. Maybe average profit is an advantage because you are having 4,08,000, something like that. Advantage to the partners, partnership firm, partners, old partners. It may be disadvantage to whom? New partner. Super profit method is realistic. Maybe advantage to whom? New partner, but may not be advantage to whom? Old partner. That is why which method you should follow has to be mentioned in the partnership deed. Okay, this is basing upon the agreement. Third method is annuity method is improvisation of annuity method is improvisation of super profit method. This method takes the present value of a rupee which you are going to get in the future. I think mathematics you might have learned. So here simply I am writing year 1, 2, 3. Here annuity method you should do you should remember, I must take year for finding out annuity factor basing on certain number of years of purchase. If certain number of years of purchase is 3 years, I should take 3. If certain number of years purchase is 2, I need annuity factor for how many months? 2 months. For 2 years. Now here I am writing PV, present value, at the rate of 20%. You write 1 by 1 plus r whole to the power of n number of times you have to calculate. Here that is by max formula. Or simple words, you do one thing, 100 by 120 is an annuity factor. You are getting 0.833. You take better 3 digits or 4 digits, no issue. Second year, you take, that means after 1 year 1 rupee is going to become 8.33. This is discounting factor of a rupee. Then this 0.833 further decreases after at the end of the second year. It is going to be something like 6.6944. So you need to calculate annuity factor for how many years? 3 years. That is basing upon certain number of years of purchase. Now here 0.6944 further depreciate 100 by 120. It is coming to 0.5786. If you look into it, you are getting 2.1063. 2.1063 is annuity factor. Now, I told the formula. Goodwill is equal to super profit into annuity factor. So what is super profit we got? We already got super profit now here. Previous one. Second method. That is what I am using. What is super profit you got here? 36,000. You take this. 36,000. I am using the second model. 36,000 annuity factor. What is annuity factor? 2.1063. It is coming to around 75,827. Is it not improvisation of super profit? I think this method is more realistic. Okay. Then fourth method. That means you can calculate goodwill either of the methods. Next, capitalization method. So goodwill is equal to super profit into 100 by normal rate. What is super profit? Already again I am taking the same super profit, my dear friends. 36,000, 100 by normal rate, 20%. My dear friends, here this case annuity factor I have taken normal rate. If suppose annuity factor separate rate is given, we can take. If it is not given, we are taking normal rate as present value. That means present value of a rupee which you are going to get future is at discount of 20%. That is the meaning of it. You will be learning in detail about this in financial management, investing, investment decision making in group 2. Okay. So goodwill is equal to super profit into 100 by normal rate. 36,000 into 100 by 120 is equal to 1,80,000 is goodwill. Or we can take one more method. Goodwill is equal to average profit. I think for this you should calculate super profit. Or we can do like this. Average profit into 100 by normal rate minus capital employed. This way also we can do. You should get the same answer. So what is average profit? We already got the average profit here. 136, no, 1,36,000. Okay. So that is average profit 1,36,000 into 100 by 20 minus 5 lakhs. You do the use the calculator, you work out. You will be getting again 1,80,000. I think this is the logic of this capitalization method is that, my dear friends. The logic is that here. The logic is that if my friend, I am doing the business. One business I am doing, where I have invested 5 lakhs, but my normal profit is something like 1,36,000. My normal profit is say 20%, no? 1 lakh. But on average, I am getting how much? 1,36,000. Am I right? Let me explain just a minute. Let me take a calculator. So, okay. So, 5 lakhs, 20%, 1 lakh. This is what I am supposed to get. But I am getting a profit of 1,36,000 by investing 5 lakhs. This is the logic, try to understand. That means it is equal to 6,80,000, 20%. See, this how my goodwill is affecting. See, by investing 5 lakhs, I am getting a profit of 1,36,000 as if I have invested 6,80,000. No? What is 6,80,000? This goodwill I am treating as an asset. My effort is increasing my reputation. That reputation is 1,80,000. I think capitalization means you are showing goodwill on the balance sheet. When goodwill increases, asset increases, which would increase? Capital increase. So that means as if I have invested 6,80,000, I am getting 1,36,000. But what is my actual investment? 5 lakhs. With 5 lakhs, I am supposed to get 1 lakh, but how much I am getting? 1,36,000. To get 1,36,000, if my friend is asking, I will advise him to get 1,36,000, you invest 6,80,000. Then simply is asking, see, you have invested 5 lakhs, but you are getting 1,36,000. Then you tell him, this is my reputation. My reputation is intangible. This reputation I want to show in my balance sheet. That means by adding to capital, you write the entry goodwill account and add to capital. Goodwill increases, capital increases. This is logic. Whether you understand, you don't understand, doesn't affect you. That means with 5 lakhs investment, I am getting a profit of 1,36,000 as if I have invested how much? 6,80,000. This is what is called as capitalization method. Okay, so we have learned the 4 methods. I explained the reason because this short course, short-term batch. Generally, for long-term batch, I take few more examples, my dear friends. So I think this is enough because most of you have heard for the first time, but to the extent which is needed, I am continuing my discussion. I hope these 4 methods has given you the clarity. You understand in 4 methods you are having different answers. Doesn't affect you. You need to choose which method is the best one. Okay, I think the best method generally preferable even in future also, like at advanced accounting stage or accounting in various levels where you need to go for goodwill. Generally, super profit method is being followed. Okay, super profit method is a realistic one. I think average profit minus normal profit. I think that will really give you an idea. So we have completed in today's session. So I told you today's class in the beginning. I told you I'll be starting with meaning of goodwill. This has been completed. Need for valuation of goodwill has been completed. Methods of valuation of goodwill is completed. Only this part is being left. What is the part is being left? Treatment of goodwill. This in the next class we will be taking up. Till then, goodbye. Thank you very much. God bless you all.